Welcome to the LeaderImpact podcast. We are a community of leaders with a network in over 350 cities around the world, dedicated to optimizing our personal, professional, and spiritual lives to have impact. This show is where we have a chance to listen and engage with leaders who are living this out. We love talking with leaders, so if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions to make the show even better, please let us know. The best way to stay connected in Canada is through our newsletter at leaderimpact.ca or on social media at LeaderImpact. If you're listening from outside of Canada, anywhere in the world, check out our website at leaderimpact.com. I'm your host, Lisa Peters, and our guest today is Marianne Morales. Raised by a single mother who was successful in real estate, Marianne saw firsthand the joy and hope real estate purchase brought to people. Graduating with a business admin degree with a year in the master's program at the University of Maryland, she started her sales career at Xerox Canada, where she attributes her discipline and consultative approach she applies naturally every single day. She was fortunate to have mentors at different points in her career. One of them was the first woman president at Xerox Canada, Diane McGarry, who said, "Be true to yourself and where you want to go." After having her first baby at age 31, going into real estate became a natural decision. She wanted a balanced life and be the mother she was called to be. Another mentor gave her the wise advice and told her, "Always remember your why." It's been 20 plus years for Marianne in real estate, and she is thankful she's still excited as the day she signed her first deal. She loves seeing the sparks in people's eyes when they sign their agreement of purchase and sale. For Marianne, it is all about relationships. It is about waking up every day thinking how she can contribute to people's lives, how she can bring value and joy to someone, and how she can invest her time with today. Thanks for joining us, Marianne.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
It is nice to meet you. A few months ago, I think we interviewed your husband, who then I actually had an opportunity to meet at a global summit. And he's lovely, and he gushes about you. So it is nice to put a face to you. So we're going to begin. We've been having great success with asking some basic questions, and they're not basic at all. It's just really diving deep about pivotal turning points in your life, principles of success, and really talking about how those mistakes and failures can really be successes. So are you ready?
I think so.
All right. So we're obviously looking for a bit of your professional story and how you got to where you are today. So can you give us a couple snapshots that were pivotal turning points along your journey?
Okay. Two pivotal turning points. First was actually when, because I'm a person who's very disciplined, that was just part of my training. Everything is written out, my goals, 5 years, short term, everything, day to day. Anyway, I had my first baby kind of early, and I was on my way. And I just finished closing a deal with Sun Microsystems at that time. It was the biggest deal we've ever landed. And of course, I cannot miss congratulating everybody. And I had to be there. It's just me. So I decided to leave my baby with a nanny. I think the baby is only 3 weeks old, but I never made it downtown. I was in a really bad car accident, and I was almost killed, really. And that's when it's pivotal, because I just thought my baby would not have remembered me had I died then. And my life would have meant nothing to nobody, because up to that point, it was just all about success, getting that President's Club and being awarded, acknowledged, and all that stuff, right? So right there is when I thought, what is important in life? And to me, it was more about family. I want to be the mother, right? The second turning point was, and that's when I thought, okay, enough of corporate world. And I resigned, to everyone's total surprise, because I was up for a promotion. But I said, no, I'm a mother. That's number one. And then it got tested again, another pivotal turn. I was very successful in real estate. In 3 years' time or 5 years' time, I joined Remax Realtron, but the best office there is in Toronto, right on Willowdale. There, I got the most coveted award. It was the platinum award. And, but right the next day, I got in my hands the diagnosis for my second child. And it's to say that he has severe developmental delay. He is in the spectrum and not otherwise specified. So it's just severe delay. So to me, having this award and then having a child where everything is uncertain, he might not talk at all, or he might not have a future. I don't know. My world crashed. And so then I thought, I guess I can't have career and family at the same time. I really have to give up one. But I was true to myself and I shared my pain with everybody. And from there, I was so surprised that people actually even connected with me more. I wasn't the agent driving a Mercedes Benz ready to sign a deal. I was someone like them. And as I was sharing across the table that this is my priority now, things have changed, they knew the pain. There was a special connection, but they took care of me when I needed the caring. So to me, that was so pivotal that we don't live by ourselves alone. We live in a community and we are not to be alone, really.
Yeah.
Right? So from there, it became like sales became a way of life. It's like me just helping people and people helping me in return. And yeah, it become more, yeah, the pain that was supposed to be, or I remember my mom saying, when life throws you a lemon, it's time to make a lemonade. And I thought, okay, I need to go to therapies and whatnot, but that's where I met people and they have needs as I had needs. So yeah.
Wow, those are amazing pivotal moments, and I thank you for sharing those, because as women, we number one, doing what's right. We think we can't, maybe, and when I say we can't have it all, what having it all means different for everybody. And having it all meant I want to be a mother, I want to be a real estate, I want to be a great wife. That's my all, and I want to believe that. And you made that decision. I love that. Just doing what's right for you at the time. And then sharing your pain with people. That's a really hard thing for women because we don't want to be seen as weak, right? Right?
Yeah.
I want to be seen as the woman driving the Mercedes, making the sales. I'm not sharing that health problems or my marriage is falling apart or my best friend has cancer. So it's how important that is and the success that came from that and sharing.
Because I remember, like going back corporate world, I was at Xerox. I was working with the JFKs, the tall, handsome, good looking and all that. And here I am, short, Oriental. I don't even know what I am, Asian Oriental. And I need to show them and prove to them that I am good. And I make good business decisions. I'm tough. I'm not emotional. Nothing phases me. I had to be that. But then moving on and with things that happened that came my way, it was like, you know what? Life is too short. I could die and nobody's in charge but me. I have to be true to myself and I have to know what's important, my priorities in life.
Marianne, that's brilliant. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. Our second question is, give us your best principle of success and tell us a story that illustrates this.
Okay, it's very basic for me. It's just do to others what you want others to do to you. Just the golden rule. And I've learned this along the way, even when I was young and through the different trainings and seminars that I've been through. It's just that I want to be treated the way I would like to treat other people the way I want to be treated, with respect and sincerity, right? And this, an example of this was, because I know life will throw things your way and you would appreciate someone walking beside you. Mm-hmm. So I was referred to someone who just lost a husband and was left with 3 young kids. She was looking to sell her house and buy a new one. But being a consultant by training, I don't just ask how many bedrooms you want, but I ask her, why are you selling? And And of course, she was puzzled, thinking, well, did you know my husband passed away? I'm like, no, but I really do want to know. Money aside, where do you want to move? What is the most ideal for you? I need to know the why. Otherwise, we're just going to be wasting our time. And then um, that's when she told me that if it was up to her, then she would like to keep her kids in the same private school that they go to. I said, oh, which one? Because she said, I need to look somewhere close to that area if that's what she wants, right? And she said, Whitfield Christian School or Academy. And I'm like, that's where my kid goes to. And then she started crying. And she said, she was praying for a Christian realtor. Of course, I don't go around saying I'm a Christian realtor, but and she started crying. She said the husband used to look after everything for her, and she's just overwhelmed. She doesn't know where to start, and So anyway, what I did was I sat down with her, spent some time. I looked at everything. I'm like, show me. And towards the end, I recommended what I recommended was contradictory to what I was doing. I told her not to sell. I recommended that she stay put, you know, um, look after the kids first, put things into order, set up a plan at least for 1 year, and then I will come back and revisit. Stick to a plan. How much does it cost you to stay in this house and everything else? Look, you have enough money. For now, look after the kids, this and that. So she was so happy. And of course, that proved to be so rewarding for me. She has been a source of referrals for me at the time, especially that I was attending to my youngest son. That, you know, I have to attend to him and therefore less time in real estate. But she kept sending me business year over year.
Wow.
So to me, I'm like, what goes around comes around, and I've been so blessed.
Yeah. And I don't think sometimes we feel that, well, maybe some people don't, when you're helping someone in the moment and you lost that sale that day, but you gain tenfold.
Yes.
But in the moment,
I was like, what did I do? I said no to a deal. I said, don't sell, stay.
Yeah, this is what I would do, right? Like, that's how you felt. Is I'm sure she was overwhelmed, and that was just another thing to put on her plate. So slow down. Oh,
yeah.
Great story. I can only imagine this next question because your stories have been so good, but we learn more from our failures and mistakes than our successes. And I think we all know that. Would you share one of your greatest failures or mistakes and what you learned from it?
I have so many stories, so many failures, Lisa. But the one thing that I'd like to share, and I haven't shared to much people, the family knew about it. One of the failures we've experienced is losing our house. I was forced to sell our own house and then rent for a few years. That was very, well, it is very humbling because after all, I'm a realtor. And I tell people, if you're renting, you're paying someone's mortgage. And there I was. I'm signing a lease contract. But looking back from that failure because there was a number of things that happened during that time, and there was a reason for it. During that time, I became more creative. I then have a need. Like I have this burning desire. I need to get back on track. I can't be a realtor and not have my own property. So what happened was I did all I can to learn about leveraging money, about investing, about pre-construction, but I only recommend opportunities where I truly believe and I'm also invested in. Because I've gone through what I've gone through, I think it added more credibility when I talk about something. And when I recommend and I say, this is what I've done and this is what happened. I bought, I sold. And real estate is all about, it helps in the financial independence of people and helps them in having a really bit of security, right? So so from there, I I see that failures made me more, yeah, like I said, made me more credible. But at the same time, after just a few years, I was able to uh, make all the money that we've lost, and also all the rent. I recuperate all the rent that we paid, and even more.
Mhm.
And I was able to even get the house that we've always wanted in the right neighborhood too. And
Wow.
of course, all praise to God. But yeah,
It is so hard to step back, I think, and give up the house and the rent in your case. In that instance, where did you turn to? And I just like my mind goes, what were the steps you took? Who do you talk to? Did you surround yourself with people that were knowledgeable, or did you just do it all yourself because we're women and we do it ourselves? Uh,
yeah.
how did you do it?
First I turned to God, because when you kind of hit bottom,
Yeah.
right? There's no place else to go. And besides, you can't go to your neighbor right away and tell them what happened. you know, but also I surround myself with a few trusted friends that I could really be honest with, that I'm secure that I will not be judged, and I'm not afraid to show myself, my real self. So I have a couple of those, and yeah, they said, like Marianne, like, you're smart and we trust you, and we believe in you. And when it comes to planning, looking up problems and having solutions, I'm good at that. So with that, and knowing that, and also having a mother who's gone through so many things, she just dusts herself off and start all over again. I knew things are temporary.
Yeah.
It's not going to stay that long. So
Yeah. And I think it's so important to surround yourself with those people,
yeah,
because those people have people, right? And
yeah,
in a conversation, hey, I know someone, I can connect you, you
yeah.
know? So just
Oh yeah.
continue to
Some
surround
people who
yourself.
actually even gave me money to invest.
Great. Those
Well,
are good people.
okay. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. All right. So at Leader Impact, we want to grow personally, professionally, and spiritually. And I know you've mentioned your faith already. We do this for, increase impact. Would you be willing to share an example of how the spiritual makes a practical difference in your life as a leader?
Okay. Well, for me, this is the key to living a life of impact and significance. So the best story yet, although all the time I even tell everybody the best is always yet to come. But the best story so far for me was during the pandemic. And that's where my faith actually got deeper. Because first time in my life, I've got nothing else to do, because there was a time we couldn't go out. So I was able to catch up with everything. Everything has been crossed out. Still, we cannot go out. But that was the time that God has called me. And I just felt I needed to do something more for Him. That life is not just about being successful and getting the awards and, having my goals reach for my kids and all that. There's far more than that. And I didn't know. I didn't know what God wanted me to do, but it was just bugging me, because I hate having, no, not knowing what I'm supposed to do. So during that time, I was reconnected to an old acquaintance of mine who happens to be a pastor, and I just saw him online. And his sermon back then was about story about Esther, who was called such, who was called to do something. And the main lesson was that God works in wonderful ways, and He has great plans for us, that we have a purpose
Mhm.
in His kingdom. And so from there, what happened was I become consumed in knowing more, in reading the Bible,
Mhm.
because my friend says, read the Bible and I will pray that you find what you're looking for. I had nothing else to do. So I did that. And I was so surprised that everything that I've learned and paid, people doing seminars, everything was in the Bible. So I got so excited. I got nothing else to share to people except that. So, but what happened was during the pandemic, so mid-year, sales picked up. but I was still in my Bible mode. So I'm sharing to my clients everything. So how was pandemic for you and this and that? And then I just shared them my story. That just continued till now. Business took care of itself. Every time God sent me people my way, my question is, God, what do you want me to do in this situation? What do I need to uncover for you? Most of the times they have a need, and it's mostly spiritual. So God takes care of everything. First things first again. But this time it is to do his will, and then he'll take care of everything else. I have a great big Bible study right now of clients turned friends, turned disciples as well, just like me. Yeah.
I love that. I love your I think it was maybe 6 months into COVID, I did some interviews on a local talk show about your COVID bonus. Like, what are you getting? Because we are stuck at home. What are you doing with it? What are you learning? What can you do? We all had a lot of time on our hands, you know? What are
Yeah.
you doing? So your story resonates. It's amazing.
Me.
Yeah. You definitely had the best story yet to come. And you know what? I think that is your life though. Listening to you, I think every day you will find the greatness in every day. I think that is Marianne Morales. Like that's what I'm getting is just
Oh,
if something happens in your life, you're going to keep going and you know, the best is yet to come. Yeah.
I look forward to every day. Really, I see like I'm like I just see everything as miracles, as gift from God, truly. And now I'm just more bold to tell people that. And if I think people are not interested, then I hesitate and I'm like, not unless you're really interested, then I will tell you.
Yeah.
And they go, tell me. I'm like, "Oh, okay, this is the truth." And then I give back all the glory to God. It's not me. Like it's not,
Yeah.
if you want to know the secret. Yeah.
When you said gifts from God, they're not always the good, right? We get these gifts and right sometimes they're the diagnosis of something which makes you turn your life around or whatever it is. It you think it's bad, but it actually maybe was meant for you to learn something or yeah. I think of things going on in my own life, like what I see them as negative or hurtful, but I need to step back and reflect and pray and I'll get to the good side yet. No.
It'll come. I know it will. I may not
No.
understand it now, but I know.
Yeah, I know better.
Yeah.
So we always ask two final questions of all our guests. I believe you're involved in Leader Impact, so you know we're dedicated to leaders having a lasting impact. So as you continue to move through your own journey in life, have you considered what you want your faith legacy to be when you leave this world?
Yes. Well, I want to be of influence and encouragement to other people to actually know God and to know him more, because people search for excellence and happiness that this world cannot give. True happiness, true happiness comes from knowing God, because he is our creator. He has that purpose for us. So we need to go back. We could I mean, I've had successes before even knowing God, but through God, he's the only one who could get you through that breakthrough, right? To that real happiness. I've been exposed to many people as well, really rich, wealthy, successful people, but they find themselves unhappy or incomplete, but not until they find God. So to me, if I could live my life as a testimony of what God can do, you can't live with just personal and professional. You need to put in that spiritual aspect as well. Seek
Oh,
God.
you are that influence and light. And my final question is what brings you the greatest joy?
My greatest joy right now is really when I share the good news to other people. I share what God is doing in my life. And then when I lead them in at saying that prayer, admitting that we're all sinners, and it's Jesus, accepting Jesus as our personal savior. I've just done that. And It never fails. I'm filled with so much joy. And I'm like, wow, this is unbelievable. The greatest deal ever. Nothing could top it, not even, no money. It's priceless. When I'm saying the prayer, when I ask them to repeat after me, and they say exactly those words, it's so much joy.
Yeah. I think many people are afraid to share their faith. We're afraid to step up and say, let me pray for you, or, or some people are offended. Have you ever been in that situation? Because and it brings you joy, but to the other person, do you,
Right.
how,
It's being, I think it's being willing, being available, just being available and praying to God that if it's whenever the right time is, just let you know. You can't force it on people,
Yeah.
but you will know when it's the right time and the words will come. Because I get asked about that same question too. I mean, you can't just say, can I pray for you? And I'm like, huh? Go away. We only pray before we eat, no. But you will know when we make ourselves available, we become more in tune. And I have someone recently who had to go out of the country and leave, but I can't just let her go. And I know what she's going through. I can't just let her go without praying for her. Not knowing her that much, I just ask her, can I pray with you? But I shared with her first what I've gone through, and she did say yes, and then I walked her through. She's at the bottom. She's got nowhere else to go. She's feeling depressed already and whatnot. And I'm like, God is with you at your lowest, at your weakest. He's there. You can ignore it, but He's there. But He'll only answer you if you call on Him.
Yeah.
And then she said, okay. So then I asked, do you want me to pray with you? And she said, yes. I'm like, alrighty then. So no, I'm never prepared, but I'm always willing, and the words just come out.
Yeah. I remember the first time, this was 20 years ago, and someone had said, they asked if they could pray for me, and okay. It was my first time ever that someone cared enough to just say that. And I wasn't where I am today, so it was very new. Obviously my language maybe said something that, I believed in God. At that time, I can't say that I was very strong in my faith, but I'm like, okay. But I think of if someone cares enough, it's free. It doesn't hurt anyone, so keep praying on people, keep praying with people. Marianne, I want to thank you for joining us. It has been an absolute pleasure to sit and talk with you. I can see why Angel just gushes about you, and everyone else does. I just want to thank you. If people want to find you, touch base with you, maybe you've said something and they're just like, oh, I'd love to speak with her, where can they find you?
I am in LinkedIn, so
Okay.
Marianne Morales, and even if they Google me, it will come up, but it will be my profession, Marianne Morales at Year 21. But I'm also with, I'm in LinkedIn, and every now and then I'm with Angel with Power, not Power to Change, but LeaderImpact Group, right?
Oh,
And just my email, mariannemorales@bell.net.
Awesome. Well, I just want to thank you again for joining us. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, thank you so much. What a pleasure to be interviewed by you.
Right. All right. Well, if you are part of Leader Impact, you can always discuss or share this podcast with your group. And if you are not yet part of a Leader Impact and would like to find out more and grow your leadership, find our podcast page on our website at leaderimpact.ca and check out our free leadership assessment. You will also find on our webpage Chapter 1 of Braden Douglas's book, Becoming a Leader of Impact. It is a super awesome book. You can also check out groups available in Canada at leaderimpact.ca, or if you're listening from anywhere else in the world, check out leaderimpact.com or get in touch with us by email, info@leaderimpact.ca, and we will connect you. And if you like this podcast, please leave us a comment, give us a rating or a review. This will help other global leaders find our podcast. Thank you for engaging with us, and remember, impact starts with you.